Live? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Podcast 6, live recording. Share.
We are live streaming episode 6 of the podcast. If you want to listen, check us out and talk. And pull it up on the phone so I can see if anybody makes a comment. And we will get started. I don't have Audigy up, I just realized. Okay. Alright, if you're watching this either now or later, this is a little bit of behind the scenes as we get to see some of the stuff we do for setup, which is kind of cool, or you may think it's super, super boring. Alright, ready to start recording?
Yeah, which one are we doing first?
Vagante.
Vagante. Alright.
So, Ryan, you've been telling me about a game called Vagante.
Vagante.
Why don't you tell me about this game a little bit? I watched some videos. Share the knowledge.
First off, you gotta say it like it's an Italian dish. You gotta call it a Vagante.
Alright, Vagante.
Alright, good. Now we can start. Vagante is a 2D platformer, kind of like a Spelunky. If you're familiar with that game, it was pretty popular on Xbox Live and Steam. It's a procedurally generated world. The enemies are generally the same enemies, just in different places. So the enemies themselves are not procedural like No Man's Sky, but
yeah,
you still get a lot of variance, a lot of different items and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're part of the procedural generation as well. It was developed by a team called Nuke 9. It was a team of 4 guys. I believe it was 4 guys. I don't know. There might be a female mixed in there. I'm not sure. It originally released into early access, which it is still in, December of 2014. It's $14.99 on Steam, and it currently has a very positive user score because it's pretty fun. So
actually, I think the last one I saw, the overall gaming score for it was overwhelmingly good or something to that effect.
Yeah, it's
overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, it's at like 89% now. It was originally at 95. I don't know why it dropped. I've played it in the earlier version and the current version. There didn't seem to be like a whole lot of difference. It was fairly well done even when I played it before, and we just played it this weekend, me and Kale, and it seems okay. There's a couple little minor glitches, but it's hard to tell because the game's super difficult anyway.
Yeah.
It can be played single player, but it's best if you play with other people. Kale and I played. That was 2 players, but I believe it goes up to 4.
Was that local or was that online?
We played locally. I'm not sure if there is an actual online or not. It's very difficult to program online stuff, so maybe not. What else we got? There are multiple classes in the game, and that's where you get your main variants. There's a mage, a rogue, a knight, and a wildling. I think is that one's called. The mage, like in each character has a bunch of stats, like speed, cast speed, critical damage, which is like luck, strength, intelligence. There's a bunch of stats. A surprising amount of stats for as short of a game as it is. And then you get like sub moves for each character that you can level up as well. So like the mage, you can level just spell casting. So if you want to cast things faster or not be disrupted while you're casting or get chances for instant cast, things like that, you can go down the spellcaster tree. It's kind of a tree. And then there's like enchanting, where you can enchant your character where they always have an element on them. So you use one of your spells, you get that elemental power, which enchanting ended up being super strong for mage. Rogue is more of a ranged archery and daggers, which are super short, so you got to get right in things' faces, which is super scary in this game.
Yeah.
If the enemies are super unforgiving, the terrain itself is unforgiving. There are a lot of traps and spikes and things. If you fall too far, fall damage will kill you, or at least deal massive amounts of damage to you. Just to give you an idea, I think most characters start with like 50 or 60 health. If you miss a fall, you lose about 10 to 15 health just on a somewhat long fall. If you hit spikes, you're dead instantly.
Yeah, see, you can walk next to spikes, you just can't land on them.
Yeah,
I was watching that in the video.
Yeah. So if you can manage to get to the ground next to them, you can walk next to it and still pick up gold and things like that. There are boulder traps, which you step on a switch, which is super hard to see. A boulder will fall on you and it will kill you one shot. There are some enemies that are big enough that if they fall on you, they will kill you one shot.
Nice.
So staying alive is just insanely difficult. What were the other classes? I was going through them. We had Rogue,
Knight, Wildling.
Yeah, the Knight
Mage
has swords, so it's a little longer. Usually uses bigger, slower weapons. He can do like a downward thrust type of sword thing. He can also go defensive and use a shield.
Down jump on Link.
Kind of, I guess.
Sorry,
it's like Yoshimitsu in Soul Calibur. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where he gets on the sword, he's like, it's more like that. And then the Wildling is like fist combat. Like he has one that's berserk. The more he punches, he goes into like a rage and starts hitting super hard. And he has like type of animals sort of moves. Like he has a howl that knocks things back, and he does this like dive into the ground. It's pretty cool. I generally prefer playing with the rogue or the mage. Those are probably the best.
So, just the terms procedure generated has been in the news a lot recently. So like No Man's Sky. This game has all levels. There's a game we talked about yesterday or last week that had procedurally generated levels.
Yeah.
If you know the answer to the question, how hard is that from a programming side to concoct?
It depends on how you go about it. So if you think the terms of Spelunky, which is probably the same type of system that they used, they have like bags of room types. So you have room type 1, it'll always have an exit on the right and the bottom. Room type 2 will be left and right, etc. And what Spelunky did was created a grid of 4x4 rooms, and then it will give a room a value of like 1 or 0, and if you hit the wall, it'll make the value go down. So it creates a tunnel, and then it fills in those rooms with the possible rooms that could be there. So, like mathematically, it sounds a little bit confusing, but if you saw it on paper, it can be surprisingly simple.
Okay.
So all you have to do is just tailor your room so you know that the exits will be the same size, or at least will match up, so you don't get stuck. There was one room where when we were playing Vagante that did not match up. You would have had to have like a high jump or something like that, but I've only seen one, and we've played it 100 times.
Gotcha.
So that's another thing to keep in mind. It's a short gameplay experience. We still haven't beat it.
Oh wow.
It's really super difficult.
But super fun.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Originally, a few months ago when we played it, it only went to like the forest level, which was about 4 levels in. Now there's some sort of mausoleum or crypt or something where there's these ghost hounds and shit, and we didn't even get 10 steps into that place. So who knows? The bosses are pretty cool. Like each set of levels has like, I believe, 2 possible bosses that could be on the floor, and I think if you don't get it on the first floor, you'll get it on the second floor and vice versa. I don't know if they plan on adding more. Like the first boss is like a barbarian that he'll throw you and slam into the ground. Second one is a dragon that will smash into the ground or breathe fire. And then there's this worm thing that's it's massive. Like the worm takes up the whole screen. It'll dive through the screen and it'll come out and its head will like cock over and it'll start spitting acid at you.
Nice.
And keep in mind that the bosses, when they hit you, it's like a quarter of your health, half of your health. So you gotta be super sharp. Yeah, and the odds that you'll even get a potion that will heal you are super low because there's tons of potions. There's good and bad potions, and there's good and bad items. Yeah, there's a poison that will just cause damage over time, as far as I know. There are the items. The bad items are a little more shifty. There are what's called cursed items, and I believe they're used in a lot of roguelike type of games, where the item will stick to you and you can't unequip it, and a lot of times it will have a bad stat on it, or multiple bad stats on it. You have to uncurse it. There is a scroll, which is kind of like a potion, that you can use on an item to give you the uncurse. But all of the potions that you see, the scrolls that you see, and items that you see are unidentified when you pick them up. So you have to use it to figure out what it is. Or, as a mage, one of your skill trees you can go into is alchemy, and you can see what all the potions are before you use them.
That's like a no-brainer if you can mage.
Well, some of the other skills are just stronger.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like the enchanting, if you enchant yourself with electricity, you'll be able to do like a ton of damage. But if you just have it in your potions on the first level, you gotta hope you find potions.
Nice.
Anyway, the game's a lot of fun. I plan on playing it some more in the near future. It's best played multiplayer. That's the reason I bought it, is because it had local co-op.
And this is something that we can find on Steam?
Yep, $14.99 on Steam. Still in early access, but they are still actively updating it. I saw that they posted an update on the 26th of August, and another one before that, the 24th, and like the 19th. So they're really hammering down on it.
Nice. All right. Well, check it out. It's on Steam, like you mentioned. Let us know what you think. We have a Twitter for the podcast now, which we haven't had in previous episodes. Ryan, what's that Twitter?
It is Doom Ninja Cast. Couldn't fit podcast because the T was too long. So
let us know what your thoughts are. If you played this game, if you have no interest in this game, or if you played it and didn't like it, or if you played it and you loved it, just let us know. That's just at Doom Ninja Cast. You can also check us out on Facebook too and give us any feedback.
If you dislike us too much, you'll be in a Doom Ninja Cast.
Boom.
Rookie of the Year style.
Does that mean you're going to be a great pitcher?
I don't know. It's like, you say pitcher, I'm thinking Kool-Aid Man.
I find that person
that's a great day. It's a great pitcher.
All right, check the game out.
All right.
Whoa.
So, for those of you watching, did you record that? Am I gonna have you just be quiet in the background for this? What we normally do is record.
I
each
think
segment
it's using
separately.
the wrong device to record, and fucking check it.
Well, it could be worse. But yeah, double check that before we move on.
Because it's barely got any, like, it picked up next to nothing.
Damn.
And I am the sandwich. Recording.
What is this? Gigantic.
Devices. No, it says.
So, to those of you watching,
Yeah.
we record segments one at a time, and then we edit it later. It makes for easier transitions and make the whole thing sound better overall, as opposed to just going on and kind of stuttering a little more. It's already difficult to continue on about something for a while, so just eases it.
Yep. And I'm going to turn off the fan. So it's also.
Alright. Final exam.
Export audio 6 Vicanti. Sorry. So now we're going to talk about final exam. This is only a minute 45 seconds.
Just gonna keep staring at this until we finally I don't know who this watching. Let's find out. We're doing it live.
I know what that reference is.
I got sound on here. Let's get that muted.
Alright. So, ready to record?
So there's a game I've been playing. I just got recently, and it's something I haven't. It's sat on the shelf for a little bit, and I started playing it. It's called Final Exam. It's made by Mighty Rocket Studios, who's now defunct. I found out prepping for the show. They actually went out of business, but they still sell their game on Steam, which begs a complete side question on where does that money go?
I'm sure there's a contract somewhere.
Yeah. So this game is. I like the art style, so if you're watching on Facebook Live or when we put this on YouTube, you'll see there's some gameplay video along with this. And so start off, they call it 2D side or 2.5D side scroller. So it's got up down, but then there's elements of going upstairs and downstairs that you can go behind things. So it adds kind of a Z-axis in a weird way.
Kind of like Little Big Planet.
Yes, kind of like. Actually, it's a very good comparison. I really like this game. The storytelling is you're going back to a high school reunion, and the aliens have taken over, and you've got to do what you've got to do. So the narrating is way over the top, and it's the cutscenes in between. The animation's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so there's like this.
The art style.
The art style is really neat, and then when you get to the game, it doesn't take itself very seriously. It's very tongue in cheek. It reminds me. Did you ever see gameplay for Sunset Overdrive? It was a big Microsoft release for Xbox One. Didn't do so well, but it reminds me of that kind of tongue in cheek. The game doesn't take itself very seriously. Mm-hmm. So you're an ex-jock. You can play some other people in later levels. You're a jock with a helmet named Brutal Joe, and you carry around a baseball bat with nails in it.
Is the helmet named Brutal Joe?
No, your character's name is Brutal Joe. Sorry.
It's a magic helmet.
Yes.
Brutal Joe.
And there's a brief tutorial in the beginning that shows you. It does support controller support, which I highly recommend.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond, you can use your keyboard. It's a little wonky on the keyboard.
It's a brawler, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like beat 'em up.
It's a button masher, and you definitely want to use a controller if you have the ability to. You don't have to. It's just by far easier to do. And you go through levels, and there's little, I call them quests, but it's more like go to point A, then go to point B, which unlocks point C, and then there's a boss fight.
Is it fully linear, or is there some sort of exploration involved?
You have to go 1, 2, 3, but finding 1, 2, 3 is up, down, left, or right. They're scattered all over the map.
Okay.
So it is linear in that you have to go from, like, in the first mission, you have to go to the gym door, and then realize that the gym door is locked because the alarm's on. So then you have to go find the alarm and turn it off. And then when you go find the alarm and turn it off, which is in a completely different spot of the map, it then unlocks the door, the escalator that gets you to the door you want to go to.
So you said this is like a zombie or alien invasion type of thing?
It's an alien invasion.
Do they respawn when you go back, or are the areas now empty after you defeat them?
It's constant respawning.
Okay.
So at no point you can't clean out a level and then okay, I'm done, haha. No, the little zombies or not zombies, their aliens will come back and get you, or will just keep respawning. Then you get to the boss fights, and the boss fights, you said Mega Man. It's actually a really good comparison. They don't have like the type differences. Like before, like you would use Iceman's blaster to use fire to kill the fire boss. Yeah. It doesn't have that mechanic per se, but it does have that the movement of the boss on the screen is very much a mechanic of the game and how you beat them. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of have to learn the pattern to beat the boss. And then as you level up, there's a skill tree. You can go into different parts, like he has a baseball bat, a 9mm, and grenades. And you can do things that will upgrade the baseball bat, the 9mm, or give the grenades. And then there's powers you can later unlock. There's one that's like basically it's a charging headbutt. You kind of lower the helmet down and go through, and it knocks everything back.
So you use Bruce the football helmet to
yeah, yes, I forgot it was Brutal Joe. Brutal Joe, the football helmet. And as you go through each level, you get there's more story unlocks, and you learn more of these monsters are coming. And again, it's the narrating will make you laugh every single time because it does not take itself seriously.
Is there like an overworld map, kind of like in Mario 3, where you go between levels, or does it just take you from?
It's level to level. It's level cutscene that makes you laugh. Level cutscene, level cutscene. It's kind of the makeup of the game. But I mean, it's mind-numbing fun. I love the graphic style. It's everything's kind of that character, big head, like the main football guy. He's ridiculous. He skipped leg day for sure. Tiny legs, giant. His arms are bigger than his body. Like he's literally a knuckle dragger. And then, but I really enjoy the game.
Knuckle dragger sounds racist. I don't know if it is or not, but it sounds like it.
I don't think it is. If it is, I'm sorry. But I highly recommend checking out the game. It's on Steam. It was on sale last week, right after we did episode 5. It was first on sale for $3.99, but right now it's $9.99 on Steam.
Either price is fine for a game, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, you'll get. I mean, I'm 4 hours into the game and I'm not done. I couldn't tell you what percentage I'm in, but I said it's well worth the buy. And you know me, I'm usually big on getting my gameplay out of it, and this is one of those things where there's so many different ways to kill things that there might be some replayability in doing some more of the advanced combos.
Is it like a drop in, drop out type of thing where somebody can come in later in the game? Because I know you said there was like a skill tree.
Yeah, it's story driven. Like later parts of the story, you switch characters.
But it's not multiplayer. I thought it was multiplayer.
Well, you can play multiplayer and you pick a character and you go through. Like I picked Brutal Joe. There's 2 other dudes and a chick. So if you join the game, you could be one of the other players.
Now, do you level up those character skill trees, or when they jump in, are they able to?
I've never played multiplayer, so I don't know. It'd be something interesting to track.
Most of the time when I buy a game, it's got to have local multiplayer.
Yeah.
That's how I play most of mine.
So we'll have to check. I'll have to look into that, and we'll maybe post something on Facebook and Twitter later about that. But I highly recommend checking the game out. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm interested in it now. I like brawlers. Like, I have quite a few actually still now. Like Battletoads Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Or like Double Dragon itself.
Yeah.
Or Turtles in Time, Ninja Turtles 4.
Yep.
So good.
Well, like I said, the combos make the game fun a little later. You unlock some more things, and you can just swing 1, 2. You hit the attack button 1, 2, 3. Or there's ways to like knock them up in the air, jump down, and smash them back down the ground. You can pick up an alien and throw it at another one. So they have ways of chaining things together a little bit, not like Killer Instinct, a 47 combo.
So I'm pretty sure Donald Trump's going to want to reskin this game, so they're illegal aliens.
Oh, God.
Throwing them all around.
Political joke for the win. But let us know what you think if you played it before. We're at Doom Ninja Cast and on Facebook, and we'll have this video up on YouTube. You can also check it out on the Doom Ninja Podcast Facebook.
Just Google Doom Ninja Podcast, you'll find us somewhere.
Yeah.
We're everywhere now.
And we'll have this information up. I highly recommend checking the game out. Like I said, it's tons of fun, mind-numbing. If you just kind of you just got off of work or you just got up and you don't want to get involved in something that requires thought, this is definitely the game.
All right, sounds fun. Click. Export.
It's a solid 8-minute segment.
6. Final exam. Ryan.
I also brought the microphone way closer, and it's significantly louder.
I'll try to work with the first one. Just have to noise reduction on it. It'll sound like MP3 granules, probably a little bit in it, but I did the dominant speaking part of the first one, so
yeah.
Game Jam Arenas.
What video do we want to use for Game Jam?
I don't even know.
Actually,
you just put a picture of like Loadem Dare's logo or something.
Loadem Dare 36. There's a 20-minute video of my London Dare 36.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people.
Oh, is it other people doing it? Oh, okay.
Probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just get the logo.
Okay, let me.
Or you can picture of a game and picture of some jelly. Just put them next to each other.
There's like a billion. When I hit image, there's a billion. Someone did it in Stranger Things. Oh, that's from LondonDare.com.
Yeah, you just feel like London Dare, just their first one that pops up is their logo. It's like, actually, the one with the joystick I've used on my site. To Facebook. Facebook caught me slipping.
Oh, I think I got it right here. Is it like pastels?
Hold on. We have somebody watching. Says we're getting really distracted with reverb from your mics. About 90%. Just a friendly heads up.
Oh, well, let's turn some things down. Whoever said that, thank you.
Turn me way down.
Okay.
That's fine with me. So you can still hear me. Doesn't need to be all fancified. There you go.
You know, my wife's watching this, and she could have said at any point, bro.
So a bit quiet compared to him now, but you were 100% clear and audible and without reverb during the entire Dante portion. So who knows what happened?
I moved the mic closer to me.
Oh, okay, and then you started picking up the background. So maybe find a happy medium in between it.
Yeah. We'll roll with that for now and see what they say. What's weird is I don't see any of the comments.
He's just messaging me directly.
Oh, to you directly. Okay, I was like, my thing's broken.
Your thing's broken.
Whoa.
I get my messages through my thing.
Oh, I know what else. All right, ready?
Gotta moisten up. All right.
So, Ryan, you were telling me about, is it Londonderry? Is that how you probably...
Ludum Dare, people call it Ludum Dare. It's any of those. It's a popular game jam.
So what is a game jam for people who have no idea what a game jam is?
A game jam is when developers have a set-aside time where they have to create an entire game from start to finish in a certain amount of time. So the Ludum Dare has two different types of entries you can do. There's a compo entry, which is like the hardcore game jam, and you get 48 hours. One person has to create all assets from scratch and get it finished within 48 hours.
Sprites,
the entire game, everything, sound.
Okay.
Yeah, only one person. The jam, which I think came on later, it can be a team of, I believe, however many people, and you have 72 hours, and of course you're gonna get a lot higher quality stuff from the jam section. The game we're talking about today is going to be from that jam section. It was a team of multiple people from what I gather. I actually took part in the one previous to the one that just finished. The only reason I didn't do this one is because it was on my birthday weekend. And it just was
partying
unfortunate. Partying hard. But this one that's getting a lot of chatter was originally called No Mario Sky.
Yes,
and you can
I
see
saw
why
this made a couple of the gaming sites.
Yeah. The idea is it is a multi-planet. It's supposed to be No Man's Sky, but with Mario. So it's 2D, just like Mario is. Well, I'm pretty sure it's 2D sprites and stuff. It's made in Unity, so it's always tricky when a Unity game comes along because you're not 100% if it's 2D or 3D. It's technically both. And you land on a planet in your ship as Mario, and everything looks pretty familiar. It's the blocks that are from Mario, the coin blocks, and all the sounds and stuff. Yaha! Like all that crap. And
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that sound.
Well, you're gonna have to listen back later then. But the planet, you can tell you're on a planet because it's curved. It has like a very slight curve. You can walk around the entire place. And you basically just, you come across different Goombas that are procedural Goombas. So you'll have some Goombas that like have mouths on the top of their head or have like a comb over. They just look strange, or like big or small, or like they just look different. And after you finish killing the things on the planet, you rocket off and you go to another planet. And it'll have its own custom name. So it'll be level 000-N053. So it's all like this randomly generated stuff.
So it's a complete mockery of another game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be just No Man's Sky. That's the whole idea. Apparently...
With arguably the same gameplay.
Oh yeah. It's just 2D and it's kind of being silly. And it was using something that was familiar to people, which is smart. That's how you can get people to vote on it. The jam is kind of a competition with game jams, or with Live and Dare specifically, where you get rated from the community that made the games. That's the only way you can get rated, is by people that have taken part in the jam or the compo, and they rate you on like audio, overall gameplay, humor, fun factor, like all these types of things. And then the people at the top usually get a good amount of exposure because there are, last time I did it, it was about 3,000 or 4,000 entries. A lot of people making games. Yeah. I think it was like 1,200 in the compo and like 2,500 in the jam.
This is not like a local thing.
No, it's a worldwide thing.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
they say the clock starts at 9 o'clock Friday night, and you have through the weekend to finish it. And then they give you like a buffer period of like a few hours or something like that. And I think they give you a buffer day where if there's something that doesn't actually change the mechanics of the game, like there's a bug with a sprite or something like that, they'll let you change that. But overall, you have to pretty much remain true to everything.
And is it whatever game software you want to use, or is it like...
Yeah, you can use whatever you want.
So you can use GameMaker,
Unity.
someone can use Unity, someone could...
People use just Java straight up. They can use Unreal Engine if they want. They can,
Crisis Engine?
Yeah, they can use whatever they want.
Yeah.
Where was I? Anyway.
You're talking about the time frames.
Yeah, you get 48 or 72 hours. Anyway. No Mario Sky.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was a big deal. I saw it popping up on Twitter a lot. It was funny. But Nintendo didn't think it was funny because it used Mario and going to get the princess and Goombas and coins and all the sounds. The music even had Mario music, so they got a cease and desist, I guess. And just a day or two ago, they re-uploaded it as No DMCA Sky.
Oh, dude.
And instead of Mario, it's a guy named Finn with a space helmet on. Goombas are now called Moombas, but they look the same because they were already modified from the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coins now. It's like green shields. Like everything is just, all the sprites are just a little different now.
To get around copyright.
It's Mario.
And IP stuff.
Yeah, it's still 100% Mario. They're like, your princess is on another planet, and yeah, they just changed a couple names, which is kind of like a FU to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because it's silly. They weren't making money off of it. It wasn't anything that's monetizable. That's, I believe, one of the rules of the game is it has to be free to play. So
okay, so it has to be free, like a share.
Yeah, right? And it was on itch.io, which is a common place for indie people to upload their games and possibly monetize. I guess maybe that's why they said, you can't use this stuff. Because I would think it would fall under parody. And from what I gathered, using things under parody is okay. That's why Weird Al can make music and stuff. And that's why you can do streaming and things. You can do like documentary style, or you can do parody. But I guess it was just a little too close to home, or there's like too long of sections within the game where it's just the music playing, and who knows. But I thought that was interesting. That's why I figured I'd bring it up. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's messed up. They called the guy Finn, makes me laugh even more. Just because the Finn with the space helmet, you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go with someone else.
Yeah,
that we shouldn't use
Star
either.
Wars. The ship was like, didn't the ship from No Man's Sky kind of look a little X-wingy?
There's one of the ships you can get later in the game is a freaking X-wing. You can't patent a 2-wing split design, I guess.
So
or copyright that.
So the company ASMB Games is who made it. Look forward to them probably being around now. I would imagine they're.
This probably pushed them a little bit to get some love.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, even when I had my entry, I had like 30-something comments on it and got a lot of exposure. It was surprising.
Maybe we'll reach out to them and see if they want to come talk about their game on the podcast.
Yeah,
which
that'd
would
be
amazing.
funny. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So check it out. It's No Mario Sky, which is now actually renamed to No DMCA Sky. It'll be in the show notes. We'll put a link.
Yep, it's on itch.io.
And we'll share it with the world so they can see the wonderfulness.
Yaha!
Nice.
6.
See, I moved it back, but
What's going on? I gotta
know.
check.
What's this one?
What am I doing? I don't know sometimes.
So we'll just do studio update next.
Yep. And I'll throw you under the bus. For your streaming.
We should make a studio update logo for like the screen, like spray paint studio update across the Doom Ninja podcast.
Oh, yeah, I need to make like a little animated GIF or something. That would be
pretty cool.
Yeah. I need to find a job first, though. Alright. I'll be good to go now.
Are you ready? So, what is going on in the wonderful studio of Doombrowski?
Well, this week I actually got a little bit done, even though I was on a pretty hard job hunt. Now that, if you listen to the last episode, you probably know that I am unemployed, and I remain unemployed after putting in many applications. I got a bunch of bug fixes done. I had an entire page of bug fixes that I finished in a day. And the same day I did a replacement of the sky in Suburban Scavengers. That's the one I'm pretty much working hard on, although there will be some other work soon on another game. I had some playtest sessions after those bug fixes as well. Found a ton more bugs, some bad ones that are going to be difficult to fix. But I got some ideas for some gameplay smoothing that should make the rest of the game feel more fun and maybe be a little more forgiving when you do run into a bug. Hopefully. I mean, people play Goat Simulator, and that game is a bug. It's just one big bug.
I laughed on Twitter when you said today you're working on what you started naming them the dolphin bug.
Yeah, and you could see that this specific bug was found that the point of the game is to push the couch into your house at the end of the road. But either player can push the couch into either other player's house. So if it's not your house, you can still push a couch into it, which is a victory for the player whose house it is.
Like throwing the game.
So in the scenario where you have knocked down the player whose house it is and you push the couch in, they will start movement from where their character is laying. And it uses two different masks. It uses a laying mask and a standing mask. So it goes from the laying mask to the standing mask, and it thinks it's getting up. But there's a script that tells it to go left and right because he rides a unicycle, usually. So instead, he's stuck in the getting up state, so he plays the getting up animation over and over, and it looks like a dolphin
you put on
swimming.
Twitter. That was hilarious. It's a very apt
So
name.
that's fun. I know how to fix that one, at least.
Oh, that one's fixable?
There are some, though, that I just don't know. Like, I thought I was fixing an elbow drop bug where you couldn't hit people while they were in the air. But now, it's making it so if you're jumping upward and somebody elbow drops into you at like a specific time and the jump, maybe like midway to the apogee where you're at your most speed, you'll go through them and you won't be detected as having hit them. And you're stuck in the ground, like doing this little elbow drop, just bouncing
Macho Man
forever.
On repeat gif.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to do a easy workaround for that at first, just to make it so the player knows that they're down and they don't get stuck in the ground forever, even though it might not be able to hit the other player. I'm a little confused about that one. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. There's a bug where like the player will go into the wall if they grab the couch too close to the wall. That's not a huge deal, but I got a list. I actually recorded the last gameplay session, which I guess for a studio update on the YouTube video, I'll let you watch it. I'll put it on there so people can
we'll
see
put links
it.
in the show notes for it.
It'll be on the video.
Oh, you put it on the video itself?
While I'm talking right now, you'll be able to see crap just going wrong all behind me.
On the back screen. Nice.
And for those of you who haven't seen the game, that'll give you a chance to see what I've been doing. There's only about 4 weeks of actual work time left for me until Orlando IX, because I'm going out of town beginning of October. Which, don't worry about the podcast. There will be an episode of the podcast available for everybody. But that's not a whole lot of time. I mean, it kind of is because I don't have a job right now. But I'm hunting for one, so, I mean, I have extra time, but it's just a stressful, confusing situation.
Nice. And we're going to be, all of us, or both of us, I should say, will be at Orlando IX, too.
Yep, which is October 15th and 16th. I believe it's open on the 14th as well as like a pre-show thing, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to that. But it's a gaming and technology expo, so there's going to be all the newest stuff with VR, a lot of indie games of the area. I'm sure Indienomicon's probably going to have a booth up there, too.
Nice. Maybe we can do some shenanigans while we're there.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to try to think of something. We can figure something out. I mean, we might even be able, if they have good enough internet, we can do some live streaming or something. That'd be cool. Speaking of Indienomicon, that was last Thursday, the first Thursday of the month. I handed out some resumes there, talked to some people, actually got a guy that's interested in coming on the cast that has a game called Maya-Rama. So maybe we'll get that checked out here pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll get it scheduled and get them on the game and show some stuff.
First guest. Should be fun. Today, specifically, I spent about 2 hours sitting in an orange juice plant waiting to apply for a job.
In an orange juice
That was
plant?
fun. Yeah, Florida's Natural is right here in town.
Yeah.
And it's like huge. It's a huge orange juice manufacturer plant. And they have a position opening. It pays well, and it's part-time, so it wouldn't pay the bills fully, but it would allow me to continue looking for work, and I can float for another few months off my savings.
Yeah.
So, and the pay to work ratio is really good. They pay really well there. All of their positions pay really well.
So I do want to say, because someone might hear this, like, oh, this guy doesn't have a job. He had a great job, and it was killing him, but he quit his job to pursue what he really wants to do, which is, in my opinion, admirable, because he could waste away his previous job.
And I'm not quitting it just to say, okay, I'm going to make all my money off of making game stuff. I don't have that mindset at all. I'm going to find another job that I can have less stress while I work on my game stuff. I mean, maybe if it's part-time and it just pays the bills, in the meantime, I can work on game things, because I'm putting a lot into it, and I have hopes for Suburban Scavengers to at least make a few dollars. And also possibly Decimate to make a little money. I might change the structure to free-to-play, which seems to be the thing to do.
Yep.
And since just today I found out there was another Game Maker Humble Bundle, and it includes the iOS export module. So for $15, I'm going to be able to put it on iTunes.
Which is the big gap we've been talking about for a while, actually.
Yeah, I haven't been able to put it on any iPhones, and I was really close to buying it when it was 50% off, and I didn't. And now for $15, I can make it on iPhone, which is awesome.
Nice.
And the game has actually been running through my mind a lot lately, because it's complete, but it still feels like it needs a little something, like a little boost, and I can find a way to put in some sort of pay structure in there too, I think. With the credit systems that kind of level up guns, I could also make a system where you have to use credits to unlock levels beyond like the first 30 or something.
Yeah.
Because there's 70 levels in the game. That's a lot of gameplay for a mobile game. So yeah, maybe after 30 you can say, okay, if I like it enough and I want to just expedite the process and not play through the other levels to level up the guns slowly, you can just buy some credits and just get there faster. Ultimately, you'll be able to play, the idea is you can play the whole game for free still. You don't have to pay a dime, but it would be a little more grindy.
Yeah.
But you can still get
you're
credits.
Expedite. You're not paid to win. You're paid to get there faster.
Yeah, that would be it. And I would probably put like a cap. Like if you pay $5, you unlock everything if you want it.
We'll have to put some gameplay of Decimate on. I played it at your house when I was there for your birthday, and I found myself I didn't think the replayability would be there until I didn't. When I played, I went through the first time. It was always a new record.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have multiple playthroughs on your computer with records that I never got close to. So I was like, oh, this MFer right here. And I started replaying levels trying to beat your times. And I was like, damn it, here's the replayability because I want to be the best.
I would love to be able to make like an online scoreboard or something for it. I think
like a leaderboard where you
that would be
awesome.
Their best. Like I have ideas for what could go into like a Decimate 2, which would include like a leaderboard and like supercharged levels where the guns go like overclock beyond what they normally do. So you could choose whatever gun you want, superclock it, and try to get the highest score, which would be like mega Twitch based. You'd have to be like a mastermind. You have to be like one of those Step Mania or
like step evolution.
just like super quick hand movements. It's already pretty difficult on mobile. You haven't had a chance to play it on mobile.
I have not.
It's
I have an iOS device,
and it was made for mobile. That was the whole reason I made it. I tested it on computer, so it's able to be given out on computer, but it was not intended to be played on the computer. It was intended to be played mobile. But being able to go out on iOS now is super exciting.
You covered the two major gaming platforms.
Yep, and I have access to an iOS device. I will tomorrow. My old boss, Adam, is letting me borrow it.
Oh, nice.
He said I can use it for however long I want. He has an old phone. So look forward to seeing that pretty soon.
And we'll definitely talk about it on the podcast when it comes out a little more. Have some gameplay video, and we'll pimp it out a little bit.
So, what have you been doing as far as streaming?
This is my worst week ever for streaming. And well, hold on. I did do some work on a couple YouTube projects that I have in planning for the Ninja Fat Man YouTube channel. I've been really slacking on it. I did do some of the structure and some of the background work for that, so I can't say I didn't do anything. But I did no streaming in the last week.
But nobody saw you do it.
Yeah, no one saw you. No one wants to see me type stuff in Word and make phone calls on Twitch.
They might.
Yeah, and send out DMs on Twitter. That's just not something people want to watch me do.
Yeah, they want to see all the other people's Twitter information and
exactly.
Skype phone numbers and stuff, so they didn't get in touch with them.
But so I didn't do any streaming. I'm going to remedy that actually tomorrow. I think I'm going to do some stuff. I might do some final exam streaming, just some of the games we talked about. And there's a couple guys who have agreed to be on the show who I wanted to stream their game before they get on here. I want to stream it and kind of reference it when they get on our show. So I'll have a little more information about that. I don't know when, so I don't want to say names until we have a scheduled date, but they have completely agreed to come on the show. They're another indie gamer, which actually brings up another thing. If you know an indie gamer, or if you're watching indie developer, and you want to come and talk about your game and the struggles and the awesome things you've learned and just talk about your stuff, we definitely want to have you on the show. It's kind of the purpose of this game is not only for me and Ryan to shamelessly self-promote, but we like talking about this thing. So we would love to hear from other people who are interested in the same stuff we are.
And honestly, I feel the exact same way about live streamers. If anybody has a live stream that they're just interested in the way that streaming is set up, there's more that goes to it than just pressing a button and playing a game. Yeah. That's not all of it. There's a lot of marketing involved. There's a lot of setup involved. If you want good transitions and things, you have to think about what game you're going to play. You got to think about your audience. You got to participate with the audience. So I'm interested in streamers coming on as well and giving their perspective on it, because I've streamed some myself. You are currently streaming, and I don't think a whole lot of people talk about it. But I think a lot of people want to do it because they see, oh, you get to play video games for money. Like, how great is that?
Yeah.
But there's more to
so
it.
Much, like I've learned since starting this. I mean, we did Facebook Live for the last two podcasts now. This second one, we did 20 minutes of setting up OBS for the kind of look we have that'll probably change again next week. But it's all trial and error, because there's not a lot of like, here's how you have a flawless everything without making it look like someone else's exact thing. So it definitely takes some work. So if you're interested, please drop us a line at Twitter. It's at DoomNinjaCast, or on Facebook, or hit one of us up at the end of the show. We'll give all our contact information too.
All right.
All right. So everyone on Facebook Live, we really appreciate you watching us. This is kind of where we end the. Thanks for the shout out. This is where we kind of end things. We record like intro, outro stuff, but that usually takes a couple takes, and we have some ad stuff to record. So really, thanks for watching us. We're going to tweak everything, the layout. I know the sound, someone mentioned the sound was a little wonky. We'll get that remedied for next week's episode.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up, Skip.
And the people who comments, Joel, Glenn, Sandra, Shelby, thanks for the comments, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.